I'm Lisa. I'm from Long Beach. I have a 1993 FXR. I think my dad got me into riding motorcycles in general because he bought my brother and I some little Kawasaki's when we were kids. But as far as Harleys, it was definitely my mom's love of the brand. This was her bike, and it stayed in the family all these years and ultimately ended up with me. She loved this bike and never wanted to get rid of it, so it sat in my brother's garage for many years getting dusty. We convinced her to send it out to us, and she knew that the goo would take really good care of it. When it was new, it was the standard black. So a woman named Dawn Holmes, who was in her pretty early 20s at the time, was painting tanks in Arizona and Colorado and painted this tank for her. All these years, it's withstood the test of time, and I get a lot of questions, a lot of compliments about it. As far as what she modified still on the bike, if we're being honest, I'm not sure much is left. It was the 90s. She had tons of chrome on the bike. Everything was chrome and everything was shiny. So when all that came off, we powder coated a lot of it so that it would have more of a blacked out look. Obviously, we weren't touching the tank. It was lacking some pinstripes. So Bondo took everything, matched the pinstripe, which is kind of a flaky gold. I did change the side covers. The old ones were cracked. Put new side covers on it, and he did those. My pipe is probably my favorite upgrade. It was made by Built, and I think it was probably the first thing when we got the bike that came off and back on. My motor is pretty much stock other than the EV27 Andrews cam. Carb is Mikuni 42mm. The air cleaner cover is Chopper Dave's. He did that for me. I wanted the Long Beach and it turned out really good. My braking is Performance Machine all the way through. Rear suspension is K-Tech. On the front suspension, Racetech. On the bars, I've got Biltwell Murdoch pullbacks and Lucky Day bars. I do have some sentimental work boots on my bike. Close friend of ours didn't make it out of a motorcycle crash, so Yaniv from Power Plant gave me his fork boots, and I was able to put those on my bike.
My name is Jerry. I'm from Long Beach, and I have a 1993 FXR. I grew up in the off-road world, and I was on dirt bikes and three-wheelers and quads and dune buggies for years and years, and then that kind of transitioned into the street. When Lisa and I kind of got together, we had the opportunity to get her mom's bike, started building on that bike, and then she didn't want to ride on the back of the bike anymore, so I ultimately built my own Dyna, and then I sold it, which led to my current bike, which is my 93 FXR. When it came to buying my FXR, I probably went and looked at 4 or 5 of them. They were just all trash bikes. They're all beaters. They needed a lot of work. It was an FXR convertible, so it had the bags, it had the big pillow seat. Since then, it's basically transformed probably 3 or 4 times in the last 3 years. The engine, we kind of left relatively stock, but we did bore it out to an 80. We had Branch redo the heads. Andrew's EV27 cam with the 42 Mikuni kind of modified the thunder header a little bit, so we gave it some ground clearance. Used the tail section just for that sound that we like with the thunder header. I feel suspension is probably one of the most important things, so I'm running the Racetech front springs with the Speed Merchant preload adjusters. On the rear, I'm running the Öhlins piggybacks. Front braking system, I went with the Tokiko calipers and the Willwood disc brakes along with the Behringer hand controls. On the rear of the bike, I've got the stock calipers and I got the Willwood rotors. You know, everybody had mag wheels and I wanted something a little bit different. I bought these through Black Bike Wheels, and then I had the gold hubs made. Went with a 19-inch up front and an 18-inch rear. I've been pretty happy with that upgrade. Power Plant 10-inch risers with their handlebars. When it came time for painting, I used Bondo out of orange. We went with the stock Harley blue color, but I wanted it a little bit different, so we darkened it up a little bit and changed the pinstripe colors to silver and the black. I'm running a JD Customs front fairing, Harley sport fender in the front, and then I have a Lopera seat.
This is Steve, Speed Kings. We're gonna do a rider profile today on this mean machine y'all been asking about. When we bought it, it was a 2018 lowrider, own stock. We got it from San Diego Harley-Davidson. Shout out to my guy Ty out there. A super amazing platform to work with and build. They're just a fucking great bike, to be truthful. I still have my Dyna, I still ride it, I still love it, but whoopsie. One of the guys I really want to thank for all his hard work and effort is Mr. Eric Martinez from EPM Racing. He did all our motor work and all our mechanical work that I am not capable of doing myself. Really appreciate all his hard work, his effort, and his knowledge he's passed down to me over the years. It was a 107 when we bought it. We bumped it up to a 114 with just some Screaming Eagle jugs and pistons. The 475 S&S cam, push rods, tappet blocks, oil pump cam plate. We are running a Barnett clutch. Really love the way it operates and it really gives it the nice little pop. We're running an S&S Stealth intake with some custom-made Speed Kings air cleaner covers from Chopper Dave. Pushing out all that exhaust is this Fab 28 pipe. Because we're running a Speed Merchant aluminum swing arm on this bike and it's a little wider than the stock one, we had to have Jay over at Fab 28 make us a custom collector so it kicks it out about 5 degrees so we're not hitting the swing arm. Really appreciate the way he worked with us on that and the way it came out. With the help from our main man Josh over at RPM Moto, this thing's now pumping out 120 horsepower and 129 foot-pounds of torque. Did an 8-inch Thrash and Supply riser with a Thrash and Supply high bend bar, all in chrome, because chrome gets you dome. Immediately we relocated our gauges to our bars. One of the companies we worked through on this gauge setup was Gorilla Cables. They helped us out. They made us a nice cable setup for it. That's a factory look. We're running the Biltwell Lumicore grips. One of the very first test sets also. We're guinea pigs over here, so we get a lot of love from the companies to test some parts out. We also have our very first set of shorty levers on here. This is where they were tested. Work great, function great, feel comfortable. It's my own product, I get it, but I really like them too. Moving from the bars, we went to the front end. That's always a big thing for me. I run these on all my bikes. Is the Gigacycle +2 inverted front end setup. This model's the Corsair D. Tim worked with us on this one. We had it all polished and we threw it on the bike. This one's set up a little sportier than my Dyna, where my Dyna likes to just float and eat up the bumps, where this thing likes to get it and hit the canyons. We topped that off with a Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing. We run in the 13-inch black smoked windshield on this one. I just think it complemented the bike really well. We usually run our own lighting. We actually ran the JW Speaker adaptive light. At night when you're riding and you lean, the beam leans with it, so it's kind of a neat little thing. I'm very partial to just your standard bullet signals on the front, but I do always change mine. I'm running the Pro Beam Custom Dynamics. That's a must on all my bikes. Kind of looks kind of basic, really it does. So it's got a real simple paint job, custom painted by my man Valley Customs. She's a basic bitch, but you know, she's got the love. This is a custom wood-off tank we did for this bike. We actually took the stock tank, we moved the filler neck to the center, we eliminated the dummy. We took the dash, cut it down, we integrated our Power Vision unit. All this sheet metal work was done by my main man Eddie over at Walden's Speed Shop. We then sent the dash after it was all worked over back to Sport Chrome over there in Orange County. They chromed it for us and it just came back looking bitch. And one of the things that really complements the bike is the Lindell wheels. When we talked to Paul over at Lindell, he hooked us up with these 13-inch front rotors. That really helps get the 120 horsepower under control when I hit those red lights. Braking all the way around, we're running Tokiko 108mm brakes. On the rear, we are running a Speed Merchant aluminum swing arm. You don't see many of those on any other bikes besides the one Speed Merchant built, and we're pretty stoked to run it on this bike. Made a huge difference on the way the rear end reacts. Plus, it's a beautiful piece of art. It really kind of brought the whole bike together with the paint scheme and everything else. We're using a Speed Merchant universal brake hanger so we can rock the 108mm Tokiko on the rear. Rear suspension, we're rocking the RWD monoshock, the RS1. This is actually the very first one ever made. Russ actually borrowed this bike, used it to make the very first one. If you look underneath, it's got a pink end. Thanks, Russ, I appreciate that one, but I kind of dig it anyways. We got one of the very first sets, the Leather Pros for these models. It packs right, it comes quick release. You can expand it out so much to fit whatever the fuck you want in these things. I've never had an issue where I couldn't fit everything I wanted to take on a multiple day trip. Crash protection, we're running a Cobra USA crash bar. As far as pegs, we're running Thrash and Supply P54 wides in the front, slims in the rear. We got a Saddleman seat. Those things are on every one of our bikes. They keep us locked in place and I can't get away from them. They're a comfortable ass seat. Great guys to deal with over there at Saddleman as well. We're also running the Cobra USA quick detach sissy bar back here. I'm really stoked on that piece. One of the other things that we worked on with Gorilla Cables is the rear fender harness for these things. On the new models, the circuit board isn't illuminated for your blinkers anymore. They actually ran the blinkers through your fender struts. So we needed to get power back to that. So we had them make us up a fender harness so we could run our integrated tail light. One of the things I like to run on my bikes too is the Speed Merchant skid plate. Just because one, they look rad, two, they function. We put a chain kit on it. So with this setup, we have actually a 25-48 setup. So this thing's set up for the highway. And I mean, I needed to actually put it back to like stock gearing because I'm gonna get a fucking ticket real quick here. For the most part, I think that's everything on this bike. Basically everything on this bike is available at speed-kingcycle.com. Not only do I ride them, but they showcase what you can do with our website. So many companies out there are offering you products they don't know shit about. I put this bike together, and I'm no mechanic. You guys know that. This goes to show you can just go on our website and purchase all these products, and you can really build yourself a cool bike as well. You're not getting my tank, you're not getting my dash, don't ask. We really appreciate all your support and everything we've done. We're gonna continue to build some cool fucking bikes. We got another one coming off the table real soon. Hope you guys enjoyed the overview of this bike. If you have any questions, hit us up. You know, we try to answer as many as we can. I think that's about it. We appreciate you.
What's up, guys? My name is Dylan. I work at Speed King Cycle, and I like motorcycles. Some of you might know me from such phone calls as, "Where are my parts?" Or, "Does this fit my bike?" So, set onto a Harley in my early 20s and knew that was kind of the last step from there, and that's where I was going. The reason I got into motorcycles, I would definitely say and thank my dad. He's always ridden supermoto, motocross, MotoGP style racing. Always been around it, you know, in my childhood, rode dirt bikes. Always wanted a Harley when I was a young kid, and when I was 22, I did get my first cruiser, street bike, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. It was a Yamaha 250 Virgo. Slow as fuck. My buddy then got a Sportster 72, and I could no longer keep up with them, so I found myself in a position, you know, sink or swim, I guess you could say. Needless to say, I made the jump. First Harley was a Sportster 48, 2017. I spent about a couple years building that until I had nothing else to do with it, and until Steve made me get a bigger bike.
Shovel it in by a spoonful. Paint a picture with the stories, make it beautiful. Step back, try to get some perspective on a half-assed night at the city.
This is my 1990 FXRS. Been building it over the last year. We'll start up front with the parts rundown. We got Pro 1 triple trees, Pro 1 DLC tubes, Race Tech gold valve emulators. We have Speed King's Aniston risers, an 8-inch, Speed King's high bend bar. We got R1S mini stalker mirrors, the S&S Super intake with the Sony Road Rage 3 exhaust. The headwork was done by RPM Moto, Mr. Josh Runlet. We did an EV27 cam in junction with all of that. Of course, Saddleman step-up seat, keep you locked in the cockpit. Got the Heartluck ODI grips, as well as the Leather Pro V3 series. My favorite style of riding is definitely hitting the canyons. I'm not the wheelie or burnout guy. This girl ain't going on the ground. But I do love to ride fast as fuck through the canyons. Between the adrenaline and the freedom you feel deep in the corner and getting it, it's just one of my top favorite things I can do myself. I definitely like to thank Pro 1 for showing me the love and let me build my bike the way that I kind of want. 100% would like to thank Steve over at Speed Kings for helping me get to this point and you know, help me get all the parts that I need to get it done right, make sure it's done the right way.
Don't you tell me what you think I should do. It's hard for you to see when a friend is true. Did you come crawling back?
You find me on the 91 freeway. Instagram handle is WoeFoto, WoeFoto. You could also find me at Speed Kings, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Always give me a call too. You never know. You probably will.
My name is Alex Chapman and I create digital content over at Speed King Cycle. So I'm sitting on my 2015 Dyna Lowrider. It's kind of the second rendition of this bike. I mean, I crashed about a year ago. Went down pretty hard. Luckily the bike wasn't totaled and insurance gave me a nice check, and so I dropped it over off at Speed Kings and they rebuilt it for me, and it's fucking set up perfect. I have zero complaints. I do a lot of road trips. I put down a lot of miles on this thing. It's kind of all I like to do. I like to ride canyons a lot. Lately I've been scraping a lot of peg. My most memorable trip on this motorcycle was probably when I used to live in Atlanta, so I rode from Atlanta to California by myself. It was the first long distance trip I ever did. I did that in 2020, and basically when COVID hit, I kind of lost my job out there and packed up all my shit on my bike, sold my car, everything, and decided I was going to come back out to California because I was born and raised here. So packed it up, you know, hit Arkansas the first night, and then from there I hit Texarkana, stopped in Texas, stayed in Amarillo one night, and yeah, like it took me 4 days to get here. I kind of wish I had taken my time on it though, because that was That would have been a cool journey if I did. It was still fucking sweet though. A lot of alone time. I don't know, I just felt the most free I've ever felt in my entire life. I had nowhere to be, I had nobody to answer to, I had nothing. I had all my money saved up, so I was good. I wasn't stressed about money. Like, I don't know. It was just perfect timing, I guess. You know, I met a lot of people along the way, and you know, for me, that's probably the most fun I've ever had on a motorcycle. I don't really have one favorite upgrade. I think when I dropped it off at Steve's, he basically built the perfect bike for me. So if I had to choose, it'd probably be the suspension. You know, I'm running 14-inch race techs in the back, and you know, I've tried a lot of shocks before. I ran Legends, I ran Drag, I ran RWD, and as soon as I put these race techs on there, dude, I had never felt anything like this before. I can go fucking 90 to 100 in a corner and nothing. It just goes where you want it to go, and it's sick. My bike is set up for me, I think. You know, it's real simple. I'm running +2 tubes in the front with race tech springs and the gold valves, and those things are, you know, cartridges are sick, but for the price, you can't beat these things. I'm running the Speed Merchant preload adjusters in the front, which are super nice, and then the Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing. I think I got the 15-inch vented windshield, and I ran a few fairings before, and this is probably my favorite one. It's simple, clean, it's easy to put on, and my neck don't hurt after a long ride, so that's pretty sick. As far as brakes go, and I'm running 2 of the Galfer wave rotors in the front, and then my buddy handed me over some Brembo bagger calipers, and it stops real quick, and I have no complaints with it. As far as risers go, I'm running Speed King's 8-inch Anderson risers. They're high bend bar and chrome. Pretty sick, real comfortable setup. You know, I had 10-inch risers before with a low bend bar, and it was cool, but it wasn't nearly as comfortable as these. These have a nice little pullback to them, and I'm not reaching over to grab the bars. It's like puts me in the most perfect spot, and so those are sick. I'm also running Speed King's shorty levers, the CNC. They're nice. They're CNC'd. They're not your normal like cut off OEM brake levers where they just feel squishy and gross. Like these ones, to me, I don't know, it's a brake lever, but brake and clutch lever. And I don't know, it makes a huge difference. It's got a nice flat surface area in the front, so it just feels real nice when you pull it. Clutch feels nice, the brake feels super nice. That's pretty much it for the front. You know, I don't really have a lot going on this thing. I'm running an S&S air cleaner with the Speed King's cast air cleaner cover, which you can't get anymore. So fuck you if you want one, it's mine.
Stay away from the wrong side of town.
Also running Speed King's modular pegs, super comfortable. I've always wanted a floorboard, but I never really liked anything that was out there. And when Steve came out with these, I was like, I gotta have these. And so I'm running them and I love them. Super grippy, no complaints. I'm running the Fab 28 high output pipe because I used to have a 107, but now that I'm on my 3rd motor, I went back to a 103. And so I'm running a high output pipe on a non-high output motor, but it runs fucking great. Sounds good, looks good. You know, for the motor is pretty much stock. I got 574 Chris Rivas rocket cams. You know, they're good torque curve. You know, I don't have to downshift to pass cars on the freeway. If I'm in 6th gear, I can just hammer down and not worry about it. Sounds good too. And then I'm running a Saddleman step up tuck and roll seat, which I got this seat when I lived in Georgia before I even knew Speed Kings. I knew their site and everything, and so I went on their site and I bought this seat probably 5 years ago. I've been running the same seat for 5 years, got about 40,000 miles on it. I'd like to eventually upgrade to the SDC seat, but this one's been cool so far. Again, I got the Race Tech shocks in the rear, Speed King's chain kit. I got the 5-spoke design with the stock gearing, and it's clean, simple, looks good. Normally, when I'm like traveling back and forth, filming and whatever, I run my Leather Pros, and I can hold my camera, my lenses, my tripod, everything inside those bags. And to me, they're the perfect bag. I actually picked those up on my road trip from Atlanta to here. I met some dude at this dealership in Texas, Chris Burns. And he saw the bags I had on the bike, and I was just on a budget. And so he saw them, he's like, dude, I got a buddy that has some brand new Leather Pros. He just upgraded to a different bike and he doesn't run these anymore. So his buddy came to the dealership in like 20 minutes and sold me those bags for $300 and they were like brand new, and I've been running for the last 2 years and have 0 complaints on them. Probably the best bag out there, in my opinion. As far as tires go, I'm running the Dunlop Road Smart 3s. I think they're Elites. I'm not really sure. But I'm running the 180 on the rear and the 110 on the front, and in my opinion, these are probably the best tires out there, other than Metzler. I heard Metzlers are pretty good, but as far as tires that I've run, I've had no problem with these. This bike fucking goes where you want it to go, no wobble, nothing. I don't have any stabilizers on it, I don't have a swing arm, I don't have cartridges or anything like that, but this bike handles like a fucking dream. So I'm super happy with it. And I have Steve from Speakings to thank for that, because he basically built this bike for me. Man, I ride motorcycles because it's the only thing that keeps my mind off of shit. You know, I have a real hard time not thinking about the things that bother me, and I have a real hard time focusing in general. And so when I'm on my bike, it's my escape. I know that sounds super cliche, but it really is. You know, I can put down as many miles as I want, go anywhere I want, and with gas prices these days, I can do it for pretty cheap. And so, you know, motorcycles are the only thing that keep me sane. I try to ride every single day. You know, for the last 5 years, I've ridden almost every single day. Like I said, it was my main mode of transportation for like 3 years, and that's the only way I got around. And so I kind of just stuck with it. I bought a truck, and you know, I use it when I need it, but for the most part, like, this bike is my only thing that I could never get rid of. So, I don't know, motorcycles, they're my life, I guess. It's what I want to do, it's what I think about all the time, you know? It's my favorite thing in the world. If you guys want to find me, or more about me, or see more of my work, you can follow me on Instagram at native.photo, and if you want to ride, hit some canyons, let me know.
Hey everybody, my name is Jerry. I'm the Goo on Instagram, and this is my 2020 Harley-Davidson Road Glide.
Well, life has really killed me, and my mind has put me on, yeah.
So my prior bike was my 93 FXR, and I put a lot of time and money into that, and it was a great bike, but with all the long distance riding we were doing and my 5-speed and the smaller tank, I was riding with everybody who had baggers. You know, they got 6 gallons, they got 6 speed, so they could run 100 miles an hour all day long. So when I realized that I was transitioning over to long distance riding, I knew I had to sell the bike to get the Road Glide, which is built for that style of riding. So I bought this 2 years ago. I sold the FXR to Danny Dixon from Dixon Flannel. He bought it off me. And ever since I've had this is my new favorite bike.
Lord, don't it burn my eyes.
Those who know me understand that I do not like stock bikes. So I literally rode it to the shop I was working at the time and put a new seat, put the RWD rear shocks on it, and went with the Kraus risers, handlebars, and upper tree. Rode for that for a while, and then I got the itch to make some changes again, so I found the BST wheels. And when they came with a pagan gold color on them, which I really liked because I wanted something different. So I changed out the wheels front and back, and then I went with the titanium gray calipers, along with the Galfer rotors front and rear. Recently we did the Nix 22 Olin cartridges up front with the black tubes and the Hog Halters lowers, which made a very, very big difference as far as handling and capabilities and such. So overall, this thing rides like a Cadillac now. Recently, I just redid the tank with the cutouts from Barnstorm Cycles up in Massachusetts. They did these nice cutouts for me. And then I had Pac-Man painted the gloss black. And then I wanted something a little bit different, and so when I bought my seat through BMC, I called Big Mike and asked him if he could do, if I sent him some cutouts, templates, would he make the cutout, the knee pads, the same material and the same stitching, which he agreed, and he nailed those, and so that really accents the bike, I think, just in a subtle way. And then eventually I kind of went towards the carbon fiber look, and I ordered the front fender, the side panels, and the dash through Hoffman Designs, and then they were out of stock on rear fenders, so I got that from Carbon Visionary, the rear fender itself, along with the handguards. And I was talking to Jeff Holt about possibly doing some colors on the bike, and he came up with the idea of matching the gold carbon on the wheels with the rest of the carbon. So I went with Bondo on that, and he actually nailed the color and sprayed everything the color you see now, which I think really looks good on the bike. As far as the engine, it's relatively stock. I'm running a S&S 475 cam with their lifters, oil pump, just the internals. And then recently went with the Bassani road rage pipe and then a TTS tuner. And I had Josh over at RPM Racing tune the bike, so it runs really well now. Some of the more recent upgrades is I went with a Trask swing arm. And one of the nice subtle touches I like about this is they come with side panels that are made of carbon, so I had Bondo spray those as well, so they match the rest of the bike. One of the nice things I do like about this bike is we went with the digital gauges by Koso, so I wanted something a little bit different. The front headlight assembly, which I just put on a couple weeks ago, is from Clean Moto, and it's their rigids, their Adapt 6, I believe what they call it, and they're super bright. And they sit back tucked into the fairing, which I like better than the other brands.
Long way to go.
I don't like short trips. I like long distance rides, and so once a year we plan a big trip. Last year we rode almost 8,000 miles in I think 16 days, and we went to Florida Keys, at the very south tip of there, spent a couple days there. They rode through the Midwest, through North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, through Texas, and then up into Durango, Colorado, and hung out there a few days. And spent some time in Oregon. We probably hit 20 states on that ride, and it was a long time to be away from home, but it was well worth it on this bike because I built it for long distance and comfort, so it's been a great bike as far as that. I built it the way I want it. There's nothing I would change on it, and it's for me and my riding style and the people I ride with, it's the perfect bike for me.
My name is Mike Deutsch. Some people know me as Otto. Seems like everybody and their brother's name is Mike. I'm fortunate that I get to ride my bike a bunch. Some of my favorite places to ride are Baja and California, Northern California up to the NorCal Cycle Swap. And this one's made the trip a bunch of times. I toss on a set of Leather Pros, maybe a backrest for my old lady. I jam up and down either, the 101, the 1, the 49, or the 395 and crisscross over the Sierras wherever the weather allows. I think some guys go a little crazy with widgets and doodads, and that stuff's cool for show bikes, but I only care about how my bike looks at about 80 miles an hour on the 395. This is my FXR. It's titled as a 1990 FXR. This is my 4th FXR. I think that means I pretty much discovered FXRs, I don't know. Rob Rouser built this bike. Actually, I've been influenced by the guys from the 80s and the 90s that built a lot of cool FXRs. A guy I was lucky to spend a little bit of time with was Wink Eller, and I always liked how his bikes, even when they looked cool, they were purpose-built. I try to incorporate a little bit of that into this bike. I had this motor and this front end on another bike. That bike had a salvage title. Made it a little hard to insure and kind of made me nervous sometimes, so I found a frame and some parts in Northern California, and I made the decision to swap all that stuff over. The stuff that was good I kept, and the stuff that wasn't working out right I got rid of. Transmission out of my 93 that I had previously, and it's got an S&S V 111 motor in it. I chose the S&S motor because I had a few 80 inches. Even when they were running good, they were just kind of underpowered once you add a passenger or any sort of traveling luggage. So finally I decided, you know, it was kind of worth the time and the money to save up and get something that's a little bit more reliable. And S&S is the good stuff. It's what keeps me on the road. And this one's been very, very good to me. And it doesn't matter what I have on the back, I can still get on the freeway at 80 or 90, you know what I mean? And I never can tell any of that stuff's back there. So the S&S has been good in that aspect. And with the stock carburetor, it actually gets pretty good mileage too. So I've been impressed and surprised with that configuration, but the mileage is good as well. This one's got about 22, 23, 24,000 miles on it. I don't know exactly because I don't have a speedometer. This front end from Tim at Gigacycle Garage has got about 22, 23,000 miles on it. I did have him recently add those 2-over fork extensions to it, so the proportions would be right. I recently added this Russ Warnemont fairing, and I just thought it looked a little squatty with the shorter legs, so I got Tim to add a couple of his extensions to the front end. I'm a little biased, but I like Biltwell pegs. I'm a big fan of Biltwell bars. I'm a big fan of the Biltwell risers. I've got the pullback risers on this thing. I think they're 12-inch. Even though I'm a taller guy with long arms, I like a little bit of pullback, and those put the bars in a nice position. These are Biltwell mirrors. Hog halter controls. They're one of the few controls I think that are out there that don't look real silly or overdone. If you're not running stock controls, I think these are a good option. I think another thing that old bikes always need upgrading is brakes, motor, suspension brakes. So I guess you change everything on an old bike? I don't know. The Gigacycle Garage front end comes with those Tokiko brakes, which are pretty nice, pretty big. He includes this big old set of floating rotors. I forget what size they are. They're just big AF, so they're a good upgrade, and that really helps. In the back, I think the best thing you can do is just add a floating rotor, and that's just a V-twin power floating rotor. This thing stops as good as any Harley-Davidson I've seen out there. We had these 9 spokes sitting around the shop. Our buddy Elsinore Geronimo, this cat, he polished them up a long time ago. I took them down there to him. He hit them with the buffer again and cleaned them up a little bit. And then I had Hot Dog right down the street, hit them with a little pinstripe on the outer lip to kind of make them appear a little bit bigger than they are. But these are just factory Harley 9-spoke wheels. Right down the hill right here, Hot Dog Customs, Pete Finland. He's helped us out with paint on a bunch of projects. These are original FXR 10s. I really think one of the few things Harley did right with these bikes is they came with cool paint jobs. I really like factory paint. I got this set at the Long Beach Cycle Swap. It's got a couple dents on it. The fender was a little beat up. My buddy Kenny polished it up and matched some of the pinstripes on the rear fender, and Pete painted me a new front fender and with this helmet as well to match. I'm not looking to ride a bass boat. Another part that was on my old bike that made its way onto this bike, and I've had it on several bikes, is this Super Trap 2-in-1. I think the 2-piece design, stainless steel construction, holds up real good with the heat, and the 2-piece design gives it a little bit of wiggle, and I think pipes need to have a little bit of wiggle. It even holds up when you're crashing and sliding down the road. It's been good in that aspect as well. These Fox shocks, again, they were on my old bike, and they're a pretty good part too. They're not super expensive, but they provide a smooth ride. They're easy to adjust. Another product and company and supporter I've been lucky to work with is Booster Brad. He makes these quick release sissy bar brackets. It makes it real easy to toss my sissy bar on there when my girlfriend wants to go for a ride, and it makes it really easy to take them off when she doesn't want to go for a ride. I'm a fan of the Saddleman seat. Usually if a seat looks cool, it's not very good for long distance. If a seat is good for long distance, it's usually stock and ugly as sin. I feel like that Saddleman's a good, comfortable middle ground. Chopper Dave makes these side covers, they're pretty cool. FXR division hooked up that crash bar. That's a nice slim crash bar. I do on occasion crash, so I'm a fan of the crash bar. I took these Biltwell Mushman pegs and I locked them down permanently into position, and those help with crashing as well. Again, I might end up in the gutter once in a while, so having stuff in place to help with that is a good idea. I'm getting older and it's harder to see at night, and I like people to see me. So I like the Speed Kings LED light in the front, and the same thing, I like the little slimmer design of the LED in the back and the smoke tail light lens. Something that's different from this FXR than a stock bike is that I don't have any wires, any stock hand controls, all those have been removed, probably from crashing. Rob Rouser wired this bike. It's wired real simple. I've got a little key switch. I've got a light switch for the Speed King cycle light, and I've got a voltmeter right here on my dash along with a USB port. If you can't keep your iPhone charged, no one on Instagram is gonna know what you're doing, and if it's not on the gram, it don't mean a damn. Thank you, Jesus.
My name is Oscar. I was born in Los Angeles, Montebello. Moved to Temecula around the age of 12. Grew up riding BMX, rode dirt bikes. Always had a passion for two wheels with the motor or not. I work over at Builtwell, customer service. So I landed my first real job at a Harley-Davidson dealership. I was a porter. I would take out the bikes every morning, put them back in. I would go on test rides with the customers, and I remember my manager at the time told me, your bike is a down payment to all your parts, and I didn't believe him until I actually bought my bike. And now it's just an endless list of things I want to do to it. This is my 2016 Harley-Davidson Street Bob. Do I go into like parts now? As you all know, Street Bobs come with spokes, single disc brakes. I decided to upgrade it. Got some mags, powder coated them. I threw some red Brembos on the front, threw a red one in the rear. I went with the full length fender, give it more of a classic Harley look. Running Speed King's taillight and a Speed King headlight in the front. For my handlebars, I'm running Builtwell Murdoch pullbacks 8-inch, along with Builtwell tractor high bars. And with my favorite grips, the thrusters. I gotta love these grips, man. For my suspension, in the front, I have Patriot drop-ins with Burley preload adjusters holding them down. And in the rear, I got some Racing Bros 14-inch. Got these little Bun King sliders. These have helped a lot. I've crashed my bike a couple times, and these have always saved it. And also, along with my Mushman pegs, always keep them down, have them locked in, so if I ever do go over, keeps it real nice and tight. For my exhaust, I have a Fab 28. I believe it's the best exhaust in the game. The performance is amazing, the sound is nice. For my foot controls, I have Cycle Pirates. It allows me to adjust where I want my brake lever. For my shifter, Bun King shoe saver. Gotta keep the shoes real nice and clean. I added a chain drive. The response was instant. It's a completely different bike. I'd recommend changing a belt to chain anytime. Man, the Saddleman, I love it, dude. It looks nice, feels nice, keeps you locked in. That wall is just the best support ever. I've ridden thousands of miles with it. The motor, it's all stock. It's all stock, 103. My air cleaner is just it's an Arlen S with a Bun King cap. I like the look of the crown. My sports car. Everyone's always asking me, like, when are you guys gonna make those? When are you guys gonna make those? Like, dude, that was the last one. I looked for that for the longest time, and we finally found one, and I threw it on. It's supposed to be a bottle opener. It works. I have a lot of bad stories. So one time I was riding up this hill, decided to pop a wheelie. I was going for a pretty long time from the light, and I had my short fender at the time. So I was going, wah, and then I scraped my fender, not thinking that I could or I would ever get that deep. And I didn't even feel that deep. Looped my fucking bike. Oh, sorry. Oh, I can? Oh, okay, shit. Okay. And then scraped my fucking fender, looped it down, and then I was in the middle of this like intersection, and this dude in a truck passes by, and he's like, "You're an asshole!" And he just rides past me, and I'm like, "I'm an asshole? What the hell? I didn't do anything to you." That's literally what and his kid was in the passenger seat. Thank God my tank was fine, everything was fine. Only thing that was fucked up was my primary. It had busted open. My rear fender would look like it was just and had to call auto to come fucking get me. I had road rash on my ass. Oh, it was the worst fucking thing ever. I couldn't sit down for like weeks. I had road rash on my fucking elbows. After that, I realized I don't want to wheel my bike anymore. You're an asshole. Man, I have plenty of good stories. Anytime, anywhere I go on this motorcycle is always a good time. Always.
My name is Patrick Galligan, the SS Pirate on Instagram, and this is my 2017 Lowrider S. I started out on a Sportster, I had an Iron A 83, and after I rode that for a while and realized that I wanted more comfort, I picked up a Dyna Defender after that. I had a T-Sport that I totaled after that. Then when I started riding again, I had an FXDX. And those were all, except for the Sportster, carbon bikes, and it was cool to, have an older bike easier to work on. Like, I wanted something to hop on and go. So then I bought this. The motor's pretty much stock, except for the thunder header, and I have a Vance & Hines fuel pack on it. For stabilization, to get rid of the Dyna wobble, I did the True Track front and rear stabilizers and a GPR stabilizer. The GPR stabilizer and the front suspension was probably the biggest upgrade. I put GP cartridges in the front, put Olin shocks in the back. They made a huge difference. I decided to do the best stuff to see what it was all about, and it was definitely worth the money. I have the Saddleman seat, which is great for us broken people. I've got 14-inch Lucky Days bars on here. I like the height. They're nice and narrow so I can fit in between cars, and they're just comfortable. The Lowrider comes with the 2 gauges on the tank, and I didn't like having to look down and see how fast I was going, what gear I was in, if my blinker was on, if I was out of gas. Move the gauges up to the top of the bars using stock Harley parts for the mounts, Accutronics bar mount to mount to the bar. And then I have a Big Bear Choppers smooth plate to cover where the stock dash was. It's just nice to be able to ride and just barely dip your eyes down to see information on your gauges. The brakes on the bike are Tokiko's. They're off of like a 06 Gixxer or something. I use Speed Merchant brackets to mount the calipers to the legs. The Galfa rotors are a big upgrade over the stock ones. They're less expensive than some of the other brands out there, but they work great. As far as the paint, I didn't want just another black Lowrider S. I consider this bike a hot rod. I wanted to do something old school. I didn't like the panel paint. It's cool, but it's not my thing. So I decided to do old school hot rod flames. Took it down to Paint by Bondo in Anaheim, California, and I told him exactly what I wanted, and he nailed it. The paint looks great, it's perfect. In the sun, it just gleams. The blue pinstripe is what I wanted. I made 100% sure I had a nice thick blue pinstripe, and he absolutely killed it for me.